watched it.
If you've ever
Oh
seen
my God.
someone step out and stop a bro from trying to get a girlfriend because he's lonely and single out in the street and trying to do it in an appropriate fashion with no intent to rape or kidnap anyone, then you would know that person shaves with Gillette because he stopped a piece of shit from committing a crime.
Welcome to the Beacon House Podcast, recorded live in Knoxville, Tennessee.
And that's why you don't need a sword if you have a Master Blaster.
That's right.
Okay, no, that's perfect.
Can bonus if any of our listeners can guess what he means by those terms. He's not talking about a trip to the toy store, folks.
Or a trip to the toy leg.
What's weird is that is what I'm talking about. Yeah, you don't need a sword if you got a Master Blaster.
I don't understand
Different kind of toys.
how a penis is a master blaster. Though.
It is so not.
It's not.
It is so not.
Oh my
Wink.
God.
Only married couples could do that. So, anyways,
Okay. This is
It's 2019. Anybody can do that.
we're obviously off to another
it's
classy
different if you
start
talk
here.
to the church. Anything different.
Well, the church has something to...
Stop.
I'm going to stop it.
No.
I'm dropping that one.
Guys, welcome to another episode of the Beacon House Podcast. I am one of your hosts, Casey.
I'm Raymond Burr.
I'm John Stack.
It's Robert Stack and John Walsh.
Robert.
Oh, I'm Robert
You're
Walsh
so
John
bad.
Stack.
You messed up too.
I'm Robert Walsh Stack John.
Failed you.
That's not a mess up on your part. Don't feel bad about that.
And what's
We'll
funny is
fucking
no
lie
one-
to you.
I'm Perry Mason.
I'm Steve Martin.
It's too
Reporter
much. All right,
extraordinaire.
this is too inside of a joke for our
Okay,
listeners.
okay, but I still get to be Sarah Connor now, right?
Yes, you're going to be Sarah Connor.
Okay, awesome.
Oh man. Whew. Shit. Okay, well, good folks. Welcome to the Beacon House Podcast.
I'm Hunter for real.
Yeah, if you guys made it through all those weird, kitschy inside jokes that it's hard to understand. Thanks for coming to another episode of our show here.
Coming
And
everywhere.
Regardless of what you've heard, no one's on trial here, and we have a very special guest.
Everyone's on trial.
Our guest today, you've heard us talk about her before on the podcast. It's Vari Wyman.
Hi.
Introduce yourself to our audience, dear.
Hi, guys. I'm Vari.
And what do you do?
I stream on Twitch.
And what else?
And I work on watches. I am like the best watch person in the whole world.
It's fucking true. I didn't know if you wanted to get into that.
I'm a
like,
necromancer.
If you wanted to tell people where you, but yeah, I'm
what?
wearing a
No,
watch.
they can come. They can come to me
What?
for the next 4 weeks.
Tell 'em
I'll
where
be
you are.
there.
Tell 'em where you
Wednesday
are.
through Friday, open to close, Dakota Watch Company in the mall. If you got a broken watch, you bring that shit to me, and I will make that work.
Seriously.
Let me ask you a
And
question.
you'll have probably like a very plucky conversation while your watch is getting worked on. She'll go, give me your damn watch. And she'll go, here's what it needs. You stand over there and shut up. Maybe go get me a coffee. And then now here's your damn watch back.
Yeah.
She will
I feel like she
handle
doesn't
you.
do that to everybody. It's just you because you're the only person that'll go buy a coffee. Like everybody else shows
I
up.
did
and
get
she's-
coffee.
Yeah, no, my watch looks great.
So
It does.
I was going to throw it out. That's the
Beautiful.
new band you sold me right there. You guys can't see this.
Nice,
She totally,
nice.
yeah. She totally, I was about to throw my old watch in the trash and she totally salvaged it and sold me another one.
I did.
So you got to go see her. Seriously.
Now,
Best ever.
I have a question. Are there watches for people who hate putting things on their wrists?
There absolutely are.
Okay.
We have pocket watches. We have little clippy watches. You can put them on your bag. You can put them on your pants. In your pants.
I'm really weird about putting things.
Be careful where in
your
your
pants.
pants you put them.
Hey, can you tell me the time? Right here. Right here, buddy.
I think that's a good look for you.
Look, Spence,
I think
I
Gillette
got my
was saying
watch.
something about that.
Oh my God.
I think that's a good look for Casey.
Yeah. Yeah.
The watch
Windmill.
pants.
I'll get nice in trouble.
Future Spencer, I hope you catch that.
Hate you guys.
Buried in there for you.
Look, these days, most people have a clock on their phone. And so in order to really know what time it is, you don't have to have a watch. But there's something about it.
You should have a watch though.
Do you feel like-
Checking the time on your phone is not good. It's not professional and it's not courteous. It's directly rude. If we're sitting here having a conversation and I, glance down at my wrist, hey, I'm just checking the time. No big deal. I like to be on time for wherever I'm going. Maybe I got a schedule or something. But I pull out my phone and hit a button so I can see what time it is. As far as you're concerned, I just check my text messages, my phone calls. I'm telling you that there's the entire world is more important for me to be talking to than you right now.
I agree 100%.
So
I didn't think I had that problem until you just said it, and I was
Yeah,
like,
thanks, you rude bastard.
Whoa.
you're ever sitting there, you're talking with a girl that you like, but you got to see what time it is because you don't want to be late to work. As far as she's concerned, you got another girl on your phone you're talking to.
Well, she should know Casey well enough to
Yeah,
know
she
that he
should.
does.
Yeah, she should know me well enough.
Okay,
No,
well, maybe
I
not
don't.
you specifically.
I do not.
That's why he doesn't shave with Gillette.
Check my.
I'm pointing at Hunter right now. You are on fucking fire today.
I check my phone, and she's like, "Oh, who's that?" I'm like, "Trust me, there's nobody at all. It
You're
is
like
empty.
some
There's no-
Pokemon. I don't. Anyway,
My
You know or
DMs,
you don't want to know.
My DMs look like a desert in Wyoming. It's just barren.
Well, in the same, and also in the same aspects, you know.
you
your
say
phone-
Wyoming was the danger zone a couple episodes ago.
Danger zone.
So anyway, no, I agree. She's totally right, man. I think it's cool to have a watch, and I think that if you can't afford to spend hundreds and hundreds of dollars on a watch, but you'd like a nice one anyway, definitely go check out the Dakota Watch Company. And man, I'm here to tell you they're affordable. And they're in various price ranges. I mean, they don't just sell watches; they sell watch bands. They can repair your old watch. Like I said, they can take it apart. They can clean it. Like
If only I could show them the pictures of the restorations I've done. I'm like so proud of them.
seriously.
Yeah, we've got down at $10 for some of our fusions. Our cheapest Dakota, I believe, is like $20 or $25, and it
Right.
still comes with
Jesus.
a 5-year warranty. You go into any jewelry store, no offense to the jewelry stores, and get yourself a Movado, a Seiko, an Invicta, something like that. It only comes with a 2-year warranty, so you're paying 5-6 times the price, and they're only standing behind their product for 2 years. Sorry, Invicta, I do love you guys.
Sure, and it makes sense.
Mic
Totally makes
dropped.
sense.
She loves fixing your shit when it breaks, is what she's saying.
That's a fact. That's a fact. So no, really, and it's in Westtown Mall in Knoxville. The stand is very close to Buckle and what else?
Zales.
Zales. It's right in that area there. You'll see
They have
it.
such pretty shiny stuff.
I
I
know.
look at them all day long. I can't walk in there. If I walk in there, I won't get I won't leave with a paycheck.
That's fair.
It sparkles.
Totally fair. Totally
So
fair.
shiny.
Diamond is a girl's best friend.
But now you do a lot of other things besides being the number one consultant to timepieces in probably the universe. Fucking as far as I'm concerned, anyway. But beyond that, you do a lot of other things too. You do a lot of streaming, and you have a massive online presence.
I try.
Tell us
I
about it.
try.
Tell us about it.
I stream on Twitch. Currently, my time's cut down a little bit because of my hours at Dakota, but I stream on Mondays and Tuesdays. I do variety, World of Warcraft, League of Legends. I love horror games. They're fun. I do not scare easily, but as my community will tell you, I do startle easily, and it's not hard to get me to scream at
That's
something.
a good distinction. I like that distinction.
That is a good distinction. Most people don't make that distinction.
I'm
between-
sorry, but if something jumps out of nowhere and I'm not expecting it, yeah, I'm going to scream.
I think
Holy
everybody
crap.
would.
Holy crap! But I'm not scared. Oh, but every once in a while, there's a couple. I've got a couple clips, and they are good scares. Like I am literally sitting here playing something, and something comes at me, and you just see me throw my hands over my face because I can't even look at it. It's oh my god!
I would love to see you play the new Resident Evil 2 remake that's coming out this month. I think that would be awesome.
I'll look into it. I'll look into
is
it.
gonna
be
Absolutely.
creepy as
They
Fuck.
they basically took Resident Evil 2. They remastered it to make it look better, of course, but then they added in a whole new slew of like Resident Evil 7 type of jump scares and grossness.
Yeah,
Okay,
like Resident
okay,
Evil
I like
4
it.
formatting too. It's
It's good.
quick tangent. I'm sorry. Do you guys still have the video clip where you scared the shit out of me out in the hallway?
It's on
Yeah.
our Instagram.
I think based on that, you'd probably love that. We'll show you later.
Well,
Okay,
yeah, we'll
can edit
absolutely,
that out. Sure, it's-
absolutely.
No, you don't have to edit it out. Go to our Instagram page.
Oh, yeah, watch
Go
the
to that
video.
video of me and Spencer scaring the shit out of Hunter and like it.
Yeah, and what's funny is he's walking in the hall singing, and we jump out at him.
Don't
and
spoil it.
But he continues singing.
Yeah.
He's going like, whoa, whoa, and you go, whoa, 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 yeah.
I have a clip of me playing Layers of Fear. And there's this one
good.
room, and I come in, and you look up above the doorway, and it says, "Don't turn around." And I'm like, "Oh shit!" And of course, I'm sorry, but I gotta turn around. You
Yeah,
can't tell
absolutely.
me not to. And I turn, and something jumps up at me, and I scream, I jump back, and everyone's like, "Dude, it told you not to do it. Why'd you do it?" I'm like, I had to know.
Yeah.
You know it's right there behind you. You've got to.
I'm pretty sure they put that in the game for people like us who is like, don't do it. And you're like, fuck you, I'm going to do it. And then you
Yeah.
don't tell
Okay.
me what to do.
100%.
On point of social media, do you guys have Twitter?
We do.
Yep.
We do.
What
yeah.
is the Twitter?
Beacon House Knox.
Oh, there we go. Okay.
Glenn Jacobs.
We actually went on a little hiatus and didn't post much. I've been trying to post one thing every day.
Yeah.
Like this whole week.
I found.
didn't
Oh my
notice
god,
that.
I wasn't following you. I'm so sorry.
It's
I'm
okay.
following you
It's
now.
okay.
I'm totally
we sort of,
following
like
now.
you said, we kind of had like a little hiatus from Twitter there for a while because we just didn't see any activity, and we have recently become woke.
Don't ever
edit.
say that.
We've got
Shit
woke.
out right
we
now.
Dude, we didn't just become woke. We became woke AF. To the fact,
Okay, yeah. Oh
the
my God.
fact-
Did he really just say that out loud?
I did. It was
Thanks,
lit.
Dad.
Well, he's hip to what the bee's knees are. Okay.
Fact.
Oh my God.
We got kind of woke to the fact that we need to be on Twitter more. That's actually one of the biggest platforms, and it streams the most. Do you agree with that?
Yes.
Twitter or Instagram?
Wait, what?
Twitter or Instagram?
For
which one?
what?
For social media, like you're
In
trying
general,
to promote.
just presence.
Exposure.
For promotion and exposure, Twitter, 100%.
Right, and that's what another social
100%
media
Twitter.
guy that runs a bunch of accounts that I talked to told us, and so we're trying to get more on the Twitter.
Twitter's
folks.
your go-to. You can post links. You can say a little bit more. Instagram is all about just your pictures and your hashtags.
Yeah.
I try and do both though. I'm not lately. I've fallen behind on my Instagram, but I do try and make sure to like post one picture a day, whether it's a selfie of me that's like, "Hey, look, I'm so cute. I totally photo edited this," or an adorable picture of Luna, who she does not need to be photo edited. Cutest cat ever.
Love cats.
Or my food. I am totally a foodie. I will post so many pictures of food. My favorite thing to do is on Sunday.
Avocado toast.
No.
You and your fucking avocado toast.
It's good.
No, I will post the most beautiful picture of Chick-fil-A. Like, I've got my whole lineup and everything. And I will post this on Sunday with the status of, were you craving Chick-fil-A? Are you now?
That's
You're
deadly.
welcome.
Oh,
Yeah, that's
man.
kind of a shit move.
Hashtag Jesus Chicken. Oh,
Hashtag blessed.
That's kind of on the
blessed
level
AF,
of the
blessed as
Wendy's
fuck.
social
Right,
media
yeah.
account. Chick-fil-A should hire you.
I'm a mean troll, but they're closed on Sunday. That's the point.
Yeah.
And that's the day that I post it, so that you really want it, but you can't go get it because they're closed.
And you just feel good about this.
I do.
You just leave everybody in the lurch.
You know what's great about working night audit is that I wake up at 7:00 at night, see that post, and I go, "That's okay. I have less than 12 hours, so I get Chick-fil-A."
Shit.
My day's almost over.
Well, and you're talking about hashtags, like spoiler or maybe not spoiler.
Yeah,
just
you got to work on your hashtags.
fuck. Well, listen, we did though, and that's the thing. If anybody that was following us on Instagram noticed, like there was a point where we were posting the episodes and we were posting maybe a video or something like that, and it was very weak hashtags, maybe 2 or 3 of them, and then at one point it went from that to just like maximum hashtags, and that was 100% because of Vari.
She called Spencer out and was like, "Your hashtag
Well, no,
game
I
is
said-
weak as fuck."
I so
she's,
did.
She's a fucking expert at social media, and I showed her. I said, "What do you think we need to do?" And she goes, "Your hashtag game is weak."
Luna's in my hashtags. People don't come see my stream to see me. They come to my stream to see my cat because she is so freaking adorable.
That's actually going to ask you that.
I'll start putting
wanna
my cats on the podcast.
doing some sort of streaming
Meow.
for Beacon House, either on Twitch or YouTube.
Okay.
But mainly, I like YouTube's format because it'll take the stream and post it directly to the channel as a video. And Twitch is a little more work involved, which it's not terrible, but you can do it. But I want to know what tips do you have for us to make our streams, not great to even better?
You could do that. You could still do that with Twitch. With Twitch, when you post, it automatically saves as your archived broadcast, and then you can just download them and then re-upload them anywhere else, or you can directly import over. If your account's, I think, verified on YouTube, it'll do it itself. You just have to say, send this to YouTube, and
that's
it'll do
pretty
it.
dope.
I've done that a few times. So it really comes down to where your primary audience is, or just which community you like better.
I feel like our primary audience is on YouTube. I don't think a lot of people who follow us watch Twitch. I do all the time.
Yeah.
But I don't know if
I
the
think-
majority of our audience watches Twitch. Or if they
I think
watch
part of
YouTube.
my more, if I were to suggest, I would probably consider both.
I really want to get
Woke AF.
either this guy or both and play Alien Isolation or Outlast 2. Like, I have all these horror games that I've not played yet, strictly because
Can we do it
I
down
think
here? Can we do it in this room?
There'd be a way
if
to
we
do
get
it.
an internet connection.
We have internet.
We do. Yeah, we do.
Perfect. I can do that.
We've got a massive TV too.
We
Yeah.
should do Outlast 2 though, because I've played most of Isolation, didn't finish it, so there'd be some jumps there. I've seen Outlast 2, but I forgot most of it, and specifically with our views on the stuff that it's involving,
Yeah.
it's gonna fuck with both of us real bad.
Well, and this will be like the resurrection of the thing we used to do back in the fucking day called Scary Game Night, where we'd have a bunch of dudes over and everybody would play like Silent Hill or Resident Evil or whatever.
Yeah.
There was one called The Suffering. Do you remember that one?
Oh, yeah.
No.
It's like you're a guy in prison and the prison
Yes.
gets like basically goes to hell.
Yes. The
That's
Suffering
nuts.
was fucking dank. We played that. And again, it was like a bunch of guys in a living room with all the lights off. It was incredible. People would scream and jump off. Just like it was scare each other. It was
Yeah.
wonderful. You live stream that shit.
Dude, Outlast
telling you.
2 is gonna be great.
Every time a horror game comes out and everyone's like, it's the scariest horror game, I usually end up just buying it because I'm like, this will look good sometime on YouTube.
yeah.
What do you
Eventually.
think? What do you think is the scariest horror game? First, Casey. Casey, go first.
Silent Hill 2.
I gotta
played that
think.
one.
I gotta think.
I'll have to
Vari?
look. Okay, so here's my thing. I don't really like the horror games where you're, running around with a gun or you're killing things or you're trying to survive. Well, sometimes the ones you're
Unarmed
trying
horror.
to survive. I like the ones that have more of just like the backstory and stuff. You're trying to figure out what's going on or what happened. Honestly, my favorite game, and I mean, you could go back and play it now and it's not going to be as scary as it was back then. And this is like DOS game type stuff, was called Last Half of Darkness. And they actually came out with a trilogy, which I bought, and I can't get to work on my computer and it makes me cry. But there's like, I'll go into a room and there'll be a closet and, click the door to open the closet and there's nothing there. And later I go back and there's a dead lady in there.
Well, fuck
Yeah.
that.
My favorite part about all of this
Is it
game,
like a point and click game?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And you like collect the things and it's a puzzle sort of
I
thing.
also agree that those are very creepy.
Layers of Fear
Yeah,
is
yeah.
one of them. I loved Layers of Fear. But there's this one part, and minor spoiler, don't worry, there's plenty of other deaths that will scare you. But you go into this room, and if you go into this room at the wrong time during this game, there's a dog there. He's a very, very ugly looking dog, and all you see is just the face of this dog. And he's like in the back a little bit of blood or whatever in his mouth. And it doesn't matter what you do. You're dead. Your next move is you're dead. And whatever direction you try to do, your next image is instantly him up on the screen with a bloody severed arm in his hand. And it gives you this whole detailed drawing about how he rips your arm from you and your last glimpses of life or of your severed arm hanging from its mouth. And it's just awesome.
Yeah, I totally get. I get that. I used to play a lot of games like that were sort of like point and click, or even the ones that were like
You immerse into them better, I
you
think.
do. And
Yeah.
what was it? Oh fuck! With the old like where you would, it was literally like dialogue based, and it would say something is coming.
Yeah.
But you can't see anything, and it was just sort of like, again, DOS games like that, fucking crazy. I feel like that leaves so much open to the imagination. You scare the fuck out of yourself. It's
Yeah.
the suggestion of what might happen in the room.
It's
See, I think
beautiful.
that's what I think is funny too. I don't necessarily think jump scares are scary. Like you said, they're startling, but then they're like, it falls flat. It's a parlor trick.
Yes.
It's fucking clown shoes. That's why when these fucking movies that come out and people go, "Oh, it's the scariest movie ever," and it's just a bunch of jump scares. I'm like, that's a bullshit movie. Movies that actually have like that thing where they just make you feel fucking creepy. Same way with those games.
Best horror movie right now, Insidious.
Oh yeah, I love the Insidious
100%.
series.
Like all of the old horror movies were great, but of the new horror movies, and me and Salik are super,
I would even put that over The Conjuring.
horror
Yeah.
movie. Yes, you get insanely immersed into it, and it's actually like realistic. There's a part in there where she's like, something's wrong, whatever. I want to leave. I don't want to be in this house. He's like, okay, tomorrow we're leaving. We're getting the hell out of here. In real life, that's what you would do. In real life, if you're in a haunted house of some sort or something is going wrong in your house, you don't go, oh, okay, whatever. Let me videotape this and go back to bed. No, you get the fuck out of there.
Now let me ask you this: Hereditary. Have you seen it?
I don't know if I have.
That probably means no.
I have seen so many horror movies though that I don't even know them by name anymore.
recent.
Whenever Alex
Yeah,
it came out
brings
recently.
Has Toni Collette and has the
I have
girl
not
that
yet.
does the.
I have not yet. It is one of the ones that is on our
a lot of
list to
people.
see.
A lot of people feel like it's this generation's Exorcist.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's
Like it
pretty
was
brutal.
That big of a shocking.
Slow burn though. So.
Super slow burn, not good for short attention span guys like me, but it was super fucking.
Excuse me.
You're excused. It was one of the anyway. Again, Hereditary has become almost as polarizing as Donald Trump, but like, go see it, make your mind up about it, whatever. It could be
Absolutely, absolutely.
It's either going to be the biggest.
I'll come back at some point. We'll talk about
It's
it.
on Amazon Prime for free.
Is it really? Hereditary is now.
Yes.
Okay.
No
Texting
shit.
that, texting
Pretty-
that right now.
Maybe
Pretty
I'll
sure.
go watch it again, and this time see if it hits me. It's either
There's
going to
a
be
lot of stuff in the background I think that a lot of people miss, and it makes it a lot scarier.
That could be why you didn't
because
enjoy
there's things
it.
that they're in the background and they don't focus on it. You
Right.
just have to pick up on it, and because I dart around so much when watching a movie,
Yeah.
that I picked up on those things, and it made it a little more.
I mean, I saw
intense
all
for
the.
me.
I got all the directorial stuff that was like,
right,
artistically
but
placed.
I think a lot of the background
Apparently, I'm
stuff.
going to watch it tonight.
Do it,
is,
dude. Well, I'd be,
I just texted to him. I said, Hereditary is on Amazon Prime for free. Can we watch it tonight?
It's either going to be a huge letdown or it's going to be your new favorite horror movie. But it's not going to
We
be like,
watch all of the horror movies. We like the good ones. We like the bad ones. We
Yeah.
like to make fun of the ones that are clearly stupid. And
Sure.
do you really understand why you tagged horror to this movie? Because it's really not.
Yeah, totally.
You'll love it then. Those are the 3 reactions that this part of the table had after seeing the movie.
We'll say that it's good. Like, whether it's your thing
It's
or
worth
not,
seeing, yeah.
Nobody's going to watch and go, nah, that was trash. They didn't do that very well. Like, people are going to you're going to go, fuck, that was an undertaking of epic proportions. Just, for me, it just wasn't my thing. It was super slow paced. And to me, there wasn't anything super evil in it. It was just the suggestion of evil. And I'll let you watch it and figure out what I'm talking about like that.
Look,
you didn't actually see like the thing. You just kind of saw like maybe
in the theater, picture this. In the theater, it's me, Hunter, Spencer.
Okay.
In the theater, near the last, part of the movie,
15 minutes maybe,
it's ramping up real heavy. I'm like this, like, my hands are up. I'm like, yeah, this is awesome. It's brutal. I love it. Hunter has his head in his knees and he's praying. Spencer's doing this. I can't believe I spent money on this.
no, I wasn't like that. I was just sort of waiting for it to like.
He's waiting for it. He's like, what? It's not complete.
I was
It's not
waiting for
complete.
the
I'm
shoe
not
to drop,
satisfied.
kind of. Yeah, like it does ramp up near the end too. And like again, if I was in a hurry to see something badass, this is not that.
Did the shoe drop?
Let's put it this way.
It dropped, and it was kind of like
I'll use a musical analogy.
landing on a curse.
Okay,
Subtle drop.
Yeah.
you've got sometimes you're in the mood for like Guns N' Roses' Appetite for Destruction.
Okay.
Sometimes you're in the mood for Radiohead. Okay, Computer.
I don't know what you're talking
And
about.
sometimes you're in the mood for Backstreet Boys.
No, I'm not. But I believe
I want it that way.
I believe you are. I'm never am. But
Tell me why.
but that and so one of like I said, this Chuck Klosterman. Have you ever read any of his books? Chuck Klosterman's the guy that wrote Sex, Drugs, and Cocoa Puffs, and he's a fucking visionary. And he's got a bunch of other good books too, like Fargo, Rock City, and like it's incredible. Chuck Klosterman he also writes at Central Depot, that little box of questions those super crazy esoteric questions you're supposed to ask yourself or whoever you're drinking with.
Yeah.
He authored that whole thing. They made a game out of his like rhetoric. Anyway, Chuck Klosterman has a thing in his book where he talks about like he talks about like people that you've got the people that are into like the Guns N' Roses and the stuff like that, and then you've got the people that are into like Radiohead. And he goes, I understand completely which of these bands probably wrote the greatest album in the world and then wrote it 5 or 6 times in a row, and which one is a more artistic statement and which one of them has like layers and which one of them really accomplishes this massive like overarching thing. He goes, I also have no question about which one I put on in my living room when I want to hear something badass.
Yeah.
And it's the Guns. I was in the mood for Guns N' Roses that night. I was not in the mood for Radiohead when I went to see Hereditary. That's the end of my analogy. So yeah, take a look at Hereditary, get back to us, let us know what you think, okay?
Absolutely.
Guys, what's going on?
Let's go in and do it and get it out of the way so I can
What are you
move on to
talking
something
about?
else.
Please just
Just
let it out of the bag. Come on.
let it out of the
What
bag.
is-
Talk
Hurry
about
up.
this Gillette commercial that got you all riled up.
I don't know what you're talking about, Casey.
We just want to get this
shit.
done and over with. Oh my god.
Well, in the news is this Gillette commercial.
He's been waiting the whole time.
It's been bottled
Fucking
up.
translation. I don't know if any of you have seen the news lately, but Gillette put out a 1.5 minute long Oscar-winning film about the Me Too movement and the
This
human
just in.
condition
And specifically the human condition.
and
Wouldn't
the
you
lack
say?
of conditioner on the human face.
Yeah. But we wound up with something else all over our face, didn't we, after we watched it?
If you've ever
my
seen
God.
someone step out and stop a bro from trying to get a girlfriend because he's lonely and single out in the street and trying to do it in an appropriate fashion with no intent to rape or kidnap anyone, then you would know that person shaves with Gillette because he stopped a piece of shit from committing a crime.
I don't think I can
Also-
add anything to
Oh
this.
my God.
If you ever think about doing that to somebody, you are a piece of shit, and you should probably start shaving with Gillette so you can save yourself and others.
It's a fact. Yeah.
What the
Hey,
fuck is
just
wrong
real
with
quick,
you
guys.
two?
It will make you a better person.
It's a razor commercial. Who gives a shit?
That was
Casey-
fucking incredible. Well, here's why you should give a shit. Here's why you should give a shit about it, because you're a dude.
That is not
well, you don't
what
use
it's
razors anyway
about.
because you have a beard.
Yeah. I don't. And when
Casey
I do
has,
use
like, 3
razors, I
levels
use
of
Dollar
reasons.
Shave Club or Harry's.
Yeah.
I loved what
I do
you
like
said
Dollar
about it
Shave
when we were
Club.
talking before we started recording. though.
Unfortunately,
What
we
you
don't
had to
have
say
either of
about
them
it.
as sponsors, but if we did have them as sponsors, fuck Gillette. They're overpriced anyways. I never used them. I used Bic
Oh,
before
I know.
that.
I have. I have used Gillette.
I used them in the past.
Silk for legs.
But it's also, I mean, it's a corporation. They're going to pander to whatever audience is right now.
But the reason why, which you pointed out earlier, I think is more pertinent than
because
anything else.
In the past, they made super sexist commercials, probably.
Oh, did they?
I'm sure they did something along the lines where someone went, someone can dig that up, like they've been digging up all these people on YouTube and like basically.
I don't recall ever seeing a Gillette commercial where a dude like punches a girl and then takes a razor and shaves with it.
So
You know,
here recently, there's a
make me a sandwich,
stigmatism
bitch,
where
while I shave. I don't think that ever happened.
Whatever you've said 10, 20 years ago is now being brought up to light, and you're being smeared with it.
That's
James
true.
Gunn.
And
That's
I think Gillette has made some commercials that people might see questionable, and before that someone finds it and posts it on Reddit or Facebook and goes, "Look at what Gillette did 15 years ago
See,
with
what
one
I
of their
think-
commercials."
People just need to stop getting their panties in a fucking twist.
Thank you.
Not
Might as
everything
well.
in the world
Who gives a
is
shit?
something to get angry about. People just want to be mad.
That's
They want
right.
to be mad. They want to bitch. They want to complain about one thing or another. Everything's got a fucking hidden motive. No, it doesn't.
Well, I think there's a dick in an office somewhere that's decided that the reason their sales are down,
There's a dick in a
that
lot of
are
offices.
plumbing, and there's a lot of dick in the office. I think somebody's gone. The reason our sales are plummeting is because, like, we have a history as a sexist company that you generally do because you largely sell only to men. You market to men because they're using most of the rate, but they do have a women's line. I get it.
Gillette has, and it's a
But
wonderful one.
it is a
Venus
wonderful
by
one.
Gillette, and they've got razors that vibrate so that your legs are silkier. Don't ask, don't question. I
said
know
nothing.
how
I
that
said
sounded.
nothing.
I want a vibrating razor.
Do as you, do as you do.
The guilty mind already out of your defending.
as you were. But no, here's the thing. They do have a women's line, but people are even mad about that because the women's line is pink. And see what I mean? Like there's
I
this
like
whole
colors.
I get it.
If
I
you
do
don't
too.
like colors, get a bottle of black nail polish
Honestly,
and
you know
paint
why?
your razor black.
You want to know why
get it.
Gillette's?
I get it. I get it.
You want to know why Gillette's sales are down more than likely? Is
because there's better
Because their
companies.
shit's expensive as fuck.
Because they're getting beat to the
It's
hilt
over-
by other companies like Dollar Shave Club.
Yes, but also right now it's beards and
Beards are
facial
in,
hair.
yeah.
Facial hair
Sure.
is in right now, so
Sure.
no one's shaving as much.
Sure, and sure, why not? And at the same time that Gillette commercial came out, that Dollar Shave Club had a commercial that came out too that was real lighthearted and funny, and it showed guys having a hard time like getting ready in the bathroom, and it was real funny, and it didn't point any fingers, and it didn't lecture to anybody, and I'm just here to tell you, there's two discussions.
Excuse me.
There's a two-part discussion to this. One is what's up with that Gillette commercial. Two is why did I get so mad over it? You know what I mean? So you have to kind of look at what
you did get kind of mad.
I did get fucking mad about it
Like,
because
oh my god.
Okay, let's talk about something real quick. First off, tell them, Hunter, you describe the commercial.
Well, it begins with Gillette showing random clips of things from the past that may or may not have been their commercials. One was specifically their commercial, and advertising the idea that this is the best a man can get. And you see an attractive woman kiss the face of a man that has just shaved himself or whatever.
You don't have to go in depth
And
detail.
then the
And
rest of the video
there's a lot
is
of
just
guys.
like
There's a lot of
well, right.
in the
People
fucking commercial.
fighting
There's a
and-
lot of dads. There's a lot of guys in khakis.
Well, right,
it's
right,
one of
right.
these like really like which
What
for
do
the
you got
record
against khakis?
I got nothing. I'm wearing khakis right now. Here's the fucking problem. The problem is no commercial has ever used that image of a guy to sell anything before. They use this like chiseled guy working on like a fucking like he's like a construction worker and like all this kind of same way that they sell like Aquaman. You know what I mean? But all of a sudden the narrative has changed because there's this message going about the commercial.
Well, no, but it starts there, and then it segues into the new stuff where it is
Sure.
what you said. It's people letting boys fight and chasing girls
Boys
on the
will
street
be
or whatever.
boys.
Yeah, and then
Oh my God.
at the end of the commercial, dude's like, "Hey, maybe those girls just want to have a good time. Leave them alone," which is good. Don't harass people. And the dad intervening, "Hey, maybe don't punch the shit out of somebody because you guys disagreed over a toy in
Yeah.
the sandbox," which is also good.
That's good.
All
sure.
that's good. But don't be sitting by the picket fence letting your kid beat the shit out of somebody in the first place.
And was that ever okay? Was that okay until this commercial came out? Was it okay to let kids fucking maul each other in the street? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, it
There's
never
a
was,
scene,
but it was
there's
accepted.
a
That's
fucking
the-
scene in the commercial where like these attractive girls walk by, and there's these two guys, and one guy like notices them, and he goes, "Whoa!"
Which is what I was referencing.
And
with
the
my
other guy
sassy
goes,
shit
"Hey,
earlier.
whoa, dude, not cool, not cool." And
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
"It's not cool to appreciate like the girl look those two women looked nice."
And you want to go see if they're single and want to go on a date
Yeah.
or something. If they turn you down and you persist, you're a piece of shit. If they turn you down and you walk away embarrassed, you're a normal person.
Like
That's the end of it.
The commercial is so hopelessly androgynous that it's kind of like I don't know. I just don't think it's.
You're like
I don't think-
reading way too into it. Though.
He's not, though. They designed it
Well-
that way on purpose.
I also-
That's what
I
they're...
also-
Yeah, or am I? Am I not? How many
you're
times
not.
this
They're-
week have you heard the term? I even heard you say it.
Toxic masculinity.
That.
Yeah.
How many times have you heard it this fucking week?
It's a real thing.
Is it a real thing? What is?
I think it is.
I have some notes here on my phone. What do you think it is?
Toxic masculinity.
Yes.
It's basically dudes making fun of dudes for not being manly.
Dudes making fun of dudes?
Yeah.
Well, the
From my
entire
understanding
world.
is toxic masculinity is like if I were to say something like, "Oh, I put this, flowery lotion because it does so good for my
Right.
skin," and you're like, "Lame, gay." That's toxic masculinity.
That's what it is.
That's
You're
an
making
example
me
of it,
feel
yeah.
bad for not being as manly as you are.
Okay.
And that's what the commercial's trying to portray, but instead it comes off as like this. But basically, the best thing I heard is somebody posted on Twitter and was just like, "Don't let a corporate sell you your fucking principles.
Damn
Ooh,
right.
fuck
Just
yeah.
believe in what you believe in, and don't let a TV commercial piss you off because it's selling something to you.
I get it.
Just let it roll off your back, man.
All right, what
Who
do you
gives
think?
a shit?
What do you think? And I will say, disclaimer: this didn't cause a big dent in my day, but for intellectual conversation, I think it's worth talking about.
I think
Because
the whole thing's stupid.
because
ultimately.
what it does, though, at some point, whether you let it roll off your back or not, at some point it informs how you might act. There's a message in there that says you should act this way, and that's worth talking about. I think. What do you think toxic masculinity is?
I don't fucking know.
It's like a female version of me. She doesn't care.
Okay,
To be completely honest, I actually have not heard that term
Yeah.
until just now. I'm literally Googling what it means on
Okay,
my
okay.
phone as we are
While-
having this.
while you're
I've been
Googling-
hearing about this for like 2 years now.
Yeah. Years.
check it out. Here's what I think. I made a note about this. I feel like what toxic masculinity is otherwise being known as male chauvinism. I think it's where men believe that they're better, that they're superior to women, and they feel like they can act in a lecherous way towards women. I also don't think there's anything new about that.
No, that's the term for douchebag.
that's been
According to
it's been a
Google.
problem for a long time.
I really think toxic masculinity is like if I were to cry and you were to make fun of me for crying and showing my feelings because men don't show their feelings, that's toxic
I think
masculinity.
that's bullying, and maybe they're the
No,
same.
it
That-
is
that-
bullying.
that's
but
the
that's
same
the
It
thing.
is. It's a form of it.
Sure.
I can tell just by hearing the phrase that it's
Right.
a form of being a bully in one way or another.
Or that-
According to Google, toxic masculinity is a narrow and repressive description of manhood designating manhood as defined by violence, sex, status, and aggression. Basically saying if you're not, I'm Popeye. No, not even Popeye. Popeye was
Right.
not toxic. Bluto was.
Bluto was toxic masculinity.
Pluto is toxic.
That's a great analogy, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking,
Yeah.
fucking bones. Okay.
The Hulk
anyway,
is toxic masculinity.
well, depending on if sometimes he is, and he argues with himself. But anyway, no, I get that. And here's the I don't think it's ever been okay. I remember growing up, and before everybody had a fucking smartphone, it still wasn't okay to be a dick.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I feel like there's always been a massive divide between being an asshole.
But there's also
and not
always been parents that say, kids will be kids, men will be men, boys will be boys. It's just part of life. It's just
That's
how
true.
things are. You have plenty of parents out there nowadays that still say the same thing, and a lot of parents nowadays care even less. Yo, we
That
can't
is very
discipline
true.
our children. We can't do any of this because this is bad. This is abuse. This is this or this is that. Your kids are going to grow up to be the biggest piece of shit in the entire world because they do not learn respect. They do not learn consequences for their actions, and they do not learn empathy.
And I like that. And I like that. That's the other side of this coin that I was hoping we would dig up when I brought this up, because there's obviously something wrong, or you wouldn't be hearing about this.
The big problem is social media.
Yeah.
Because you can now record on your phone and post it on social
Right.
media. If someone does something and you get caught
Yeah.
on camera doing it, like say you pick your nose at school, someone catches you on camera, and then back in our day, it was we got caught and then word of mouth, and then someone would ask you and you'd be like, no, I didn't do it, and then it would be the end of
And
that.
it'd be dead. Yeah.
Now
Or you just
someone
go,
can
whatever.
record
Now
you.
there's proof that you did it.
Now there's kids who are
Sure.
leaving
Don't pick your nose at school.
Well, now there's kids that are leaving school and saying they're not going back because they've been bullied and they've been caught doing something
Sure.
weird, or
Killing
taking
themselves,
something out of
worse yet.
context, killing themselves
Yeah.
because
Right.
they came out, and it's shit
Words-
like it's social media is really ramped up the toxic masculinity and men like guys making fun of other guys for showing their feelings and expressing themselves how they feel comfortable.
So
but
let me.
it's not just from the guy's side of things. I mean, everyone's
not.
turning this into this is, a whole male sided thing, and it's not. The whole fucking world is like that.
Yeah.
Girls are just as bad as guys are. They sit there
Thank
and
you.
you're taught your entire life, sticks and stones will break my bones, but words can never harm me. But they can. Words are the brutalest thing. That gets into your psyche. That
That's
sticks
true.
with you so much longer. You want to punch me in the fucking face? You know what? My nose is going to heal. But something that actually gets
somebody
me deep
says
down,
something-
that stays longer. That leaves a ripple.
Casey.
At the end of the day, if you watch a razor commercial and are for some reason think that you need to be a completely better person, or you get super mad at it, gives you the feels, whatnot, just remember it's still a fucking razor commercial.
Yeah.
And there's more shit out there that can help you improve yourself than a Gillette commercial.
Well, but
Reality checks are still nice, though.
well, and this conversation is a nice thing to have too. And maybe somebody listening to this will go, "Hey, you know what? So maybe I don't have to be, and
that
and
Vari
and
chick sounds hot.
they'll be like, fucking, she knows what she's talking about. It was definitely not her burping. It was definitely Casey.
It was definitely me.
They're definitely going to know that.
Yeah.
You.
And then there'll be no toxic femininity.
Wow. Threw her right under the bus.
You're
flying-
such a fucking ass.
Flying at the front of your microphone. That
You
we're gonna
threw
have
her
to clean
straight
off
under that Gillette bus right there.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
Anyway, again, to close that.
Honestly,
close the topic on that.
It's
Fucking,
okay. I can better than you can.
I 100% support the overarching themes of that. Like I don't think bullying's okay. Toxic masculinity is not okay. Marginalization is not okay. Misogyny is not okay. But it never has been. Mm-hmm. And if you're just now waiting on Gillette to turn you into a fucking hero, I think you've got a lot of work to do.
Yeah, that's
Boom.
Okay.
That's what I said.
that's what Casey said. Yeah.
We can stop talking.
Tulsi
about it
Gabbard
now, Casey.
2020.
Fucking Tulsi. That's the end of my little rant.
So I got accosted verbally. What verbally accosted?
Yeah.
Is that the right?
Yeah.
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 I got
By Spencer?
no by a drunk lady
By Vari?
that I didn't know.
No.
Oh wait, I
if
know
was
about
drunk-
this. This is big. I actually ran into Casey right after this, and we saved it for the show. So
Oh, wait. Whoa.
Oh, just get ready because we're about to.
It's gonna be the best story.
We're gonna fucking get into it. Okay.
Okay. So I'm going to skip. There's a long beginning to this story that I'm going to skip out because we're running on time here.
It wasn't me, though, right?
It was not you.
Okay, keep
But
going.
I got put into a situation where I was basically having to babysit this lady before her Uber showed up because she was being very verbally abusive to others. And it may or may not have been in my place of business. Anyways, so I'm sitting there.
She was intoxicated, right?
She's sitting down intoxicated. I'm just kind of standing in the area waiting for an Uber just to make sure she doesn't go back into a bar.
Okay.
And as I'm standing there, she looks at me and goes, "So do you work out?" And I went, "Obviously, no, I don't." and she goes, "And you like that? You like being fat?" And I was like,
What the fuck?
I was like, "Yeah, I did. It doesn't bother me if
What
that's."
the fuck?
I was like most
Rude.
I was like, people like teddy bears. They're like, no one likes cuddling a rock. Everyone
You're a
likes cuddling a
beautiful
teddy
teddy
bear.
bear.
Thank you. And she was like, really? She's like, and you're happy with that? Like being fat? And I was like, yes. And she was like, what about bald? Are you happy with being bald? And I was like, this
shave it, so
I was
obviously.
I was like, my receding hairline is genetic. It's not really something I have control over. But if you must know, I don't mind. I like shaving my head. It's great in the summertime, and in the wintertime, I just put on a hat. So perfect. And she was like, that seems kind of sad. Like I don't know why you're so happy with that. And I was like, okay.
What the fuck?
And then she goes, and what about short? Like, you're obviously pretty short. And I was like,
You're not short.
and then she got up and stood next to me and was like doing this thing where she like put her hand over her head and was like, see, look how much taller I am than you. And I was like, you're also wearing 2-foot heels. Like your heels are huge. Mm-hmm. And she was like, it doesn't matter. Without the heels, I'd still be taller than you. And I'm like, I was like,
Now that we've covered your issue of
I feel like-
superiority,
yeah.
What the fuck?
And then
were you going somewhere? If somebody started saying that shit to me, I'd be like, where are you going with this?
Yeah.
Clearly
Can
you're the superior.
we get to the end of
you're
this
the superior
conversation now?
organism. You know?
You're
for me,
a-
I'm well aware that she is incredibly intoxicated, but a drunk mouth speaks a sober mind. So maybe she just didn't like me. So she continued to just be like, I just don't see it. Like, she's like, I'm going to Italy tomorrow. Like, I have money. I'm happy
Good
with my
for
money.
you,
And I was like, well, you have
bitch.
safe travels. And she was like, because I'm all about hospitality.
You
So I'm
were
just
so
like,
much nicer than I would have been.
well, and I'm just like, look, I was like, you have safe travels, have fun in Italy. And she's like, but you work here, you look like that, you have no money. Like, how can you be happy? Like, all you do is live in the shadows of life. And I
The
went,
shadows of life.
and I went, what the fuck? Are you writing a J.K. Rowling book? Like, am I Harry Potter? What am I going to run through the wall here in a second and Hagrid's going to give me an owl? Like, what
She's
are you
about to pull out the
talking
sorting
about?
hat, you know.
And I was like, shadows of life. And I literally just laughed out loud. And she was like, don't laugh at me. And I was like,
But
I was
you're
like,
being
I was like, you're
funny.
being really absurd. And she was like, I'm not. I'm being serious. Like, you should not be happy with where you are right now. And I was like,
I would have been like, I come from so
Meanwhile,
much money. I
I'm
work this
babysitting
job so
you.
that I'm not bored.
Yeah. Meanwhile, while I shouldn't be happy with where I am, I'm babysitting your drunk ass. I was trying to get an Uber because you can't conduct yourself in public, you moron.
And she just like she kept saying she had like millions in the bank and she's going to Italy, and I was like, great,
Hope the plane, there's a lot of opportunities for that plane.
Why don't you get your fucking helicopter
And
to
I
come
was
pick
like,
you up then?
I was like,
instead
that's
of
great.
Uber?
So then the Uber pulls up, and as the Uber pulls up, it was raining outside, and he pulled up a little bit further in a couple of parking spaces that were a little bit further from the door. And she called the guy and goes, I need you to back up. I don't want to get my hair wet. I need you to back up further so I can get straight into the car without getting my hair wet. And he was like, what? And she's like, back up. And he's like, all right. So he backed up in the middle of the
She's
street.
like, can you just park inside the
Why
building?
didn't you drive off? Should have.
So he backs up. Hold on a second. Don't spoil anything. He backs up and he's in the middle of the road, still not as close to the door as she wants it. And she was like, closer. And she's waving at him, closer. And he literally just looks at her, rolls up the window, and drives off.
Yes.
Yes.
And then another Uber comes up she just goes, huh. And then types something in her phone. And then like 10 minutes later, another Uber pulls up right where she wanted it to be. She hopped in and left.
I'm like waiting for her to be like,
and-
lay down the coat, put the trench coat in the puddle for me.
Yeah.
Well, and then
Step
I
over
had-
and then produce my glass slipper,
I had people come up to me after that, and they were like, was she as bad as she was in there? And I was like, and I told them everything, and they went, yep, just as bad. So apparently she was just going nuts on people.
And that's true, because when I walked in shortly after all this thing had gone down. I didn't see the lady, but I went by to see Casey, and like there were other people there. Like there were several women in there that were like, I can't believe she acted like that to you. And he was like, yeah, whatever,
I don't know if you guys know this from listening to me on the podcast. I don't give a shit, especially what a drunk random stranger says about me. I grew up with basically two brothers. One was my actual brother, and one was his best friend. And so I think I've had the worst things said to me as just being a little brother. That I don't think telling me I'm short, bald, fat, and live in the shadows of life is really much.
I think living in the shadows of life
Shadows
sounds pretty
of
fucking
Life.
cool.
Sounds awesome.
That sounds like a doc.
Oh,
record.
yeah,
Your
I
band
like
name,
it.
Shadows of Life
Shadows
should
of
be your
Life.
band
That's
name.
not a bad one.
That's actually not bad. I love it.
You
You should be careful though. From the shadows of life, you could easily rob her.
What the hell is that sound coming from you?
The 90s.
Aaron Yellow Sun.
Anyways, so that's
Hunter,
my.
I got a question, Hunter. Guess where you can't see the lemon yellow sun from? From the shadows of life.
Oh my God, what the fuck?
So
something
that's my story of how I got
explained that a
accosted
few
by a
episodes.
drunk person. I thought it was funny.
I think you're adorable.
Thank you. I thought it was funny when she left. She was just like, "Well, have fun." And one statement she did make, and I thought it was even funnier, is she was like, "I just don't understand people in the South being so fucking content with their lives." She was like, "You guys have nothing. You're just always so happy with what you have." And I was like, "Yeah, that's what normal people do, you dumb bitch.
So
You're happy
Being
with what
happy
you."
is so horrible.
I'm
How
impressed.
dare we?
We're happy with
impressed
what
that-
we have, and we don't really worry about anything outside of our realm.
Right. I'm impressed that you controlled yourself.
I
around
may
her.
or may not have had to.
Well, I mean, I get that, but
I may or may not have been in a position to be in a hospitable lifestyle that I had to perform a certain task of hospitality.
Vari, what do you think? What do you think about how would you have handled that situation?
Well, if I were literally in his shoes, I would have done the same, because I have had a customer or two that it has taken every ounce of everything in me not to jump over the counter and punch them in the face. But
And see,
you
I've had people like that, but this lady, I didn't even want to hit her. I just felt bad for her.
Yeah, like what if you were like cleaning someone's watch and like somebody walked up and just started like dehumanizing you? Oh, do you like cleaning watches? Do you like looking like
So,
that? Do you like being this?
I had
Are you
this
kidding me?
guy
In the middle
come
of the
up
mall?
and he wanted his watch done, and he's like, "Okay, well, do you replace the gasket?" Well, actually, he doesn't even ask if I replace it. He goes, "There's a gasket in the back of this," or he says, "There's a ring," and I'm like, "Yeah, the gasket. Oh, okay. So you know how to do that. Do you have the tools for this?" So he finally shuts up and gives me a stupid watch, and I go to open the band up so that I can successfully get to the back without scratching or damaging the watch. And he flips out on me because clearly I don't have the right tools and I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. And I literally like handed him his watch, and I should not do this. And I very rarely ever do this. Once in the last 2 years, I handed him his watch and I said, "I don't get paid enough. Here you go." And he
See.
left.
Yeah.
I wish
Nice.
you handed it back to him like still in shambles. And just like, you put it back together, dickhead.
Or you could have drugged him, bent him over.
He
taken a
acted
funnel,
like I was literally
poured
taking
all
a
the pieces of the
hammer
watch
to it
into
or
his
something.
ass, and go, assemble that later when you take a crap, you numb nuts.
Unfortunately, we get customers, and everyone at the kiosk sees it that I am female, and because I'm female, clearly I'm not a manager. I am the lowest person that works there, and I don't know what the fuck I'm doing.
Because it's technology you're handling too. That's the problem.
You know what's weird is you say this. I have a Gillette commercial you need to watch.
Yeah, it'll make you a better
We
person.
have every time
Very nice.
well, I'd like you to come back and talk to my store manager. Oh, well, when will he be there? Well, she'll be here tomorrow. Or when my assistant manager and my store manager are there together. Manager she, assistant manager he, and they will bypass her to go to him, or they'll talk to her about something. They won't like her answer, and then they'll walk around and go talk to him. And he's like, "She's my manager. Like I'm not above her. I'm not gonna give you a different answer. She gave you this answer. You're stuck with this." But people just
When I worked at Books A Million, I had that problem where people would bypass actual managers and come up to me and be like, "Excuse me," and I'm like, "I work in the coffee shop." like they're like, "Do you know where nonfiction is?" I'm like, "Yeah, you see fiction," and they're like, "Yeah," and I'm like, "Everything else is nonfiction." In
That's
the store.
that's one of my favorite Casey answers in that story.
I actually used that once, not in a mean way, and
Yeah.
I got
Oh, I got in super trouble.
I got a stern talking to, but I was also like, I was not rude in tone or anything. I tried to even help her find more detailed, get
what
more.
was the question?
Excuse me, where's nonfiction? It's like, all right, well, you see that big sign that
Not
says
where the
fiction?
bubbles are.
It's like, yeah, it's like everything else is nonfiction in this store.
Yeah, so I said that, and then she was like, okay, well, and then I followed it up with, are you looking for a particular one? And she goes, no, I just want to know where the new ones are. And I was like, okay, well, not in fiction, and the tables up front
God,
are
you're such a dick,
generally
Hunter.
where the new books go. And she was like, okay, and just walked off. And I'm like, okay.
I feel like you. I feel
think
like
it's a
you.
weird question.
I've heard a lot. Hunter's had a lot of those situations. I feel like people ask you really vague fucking questions and then get mad when you have a hard time answering them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think you honestly try to give them good answers, and people are just. I think you just get. You have shit luck when it comes to like customers and people. I
Dude,
really think
fucking
so.
barista. Yesterday, I had one shit customer, and I handled it perfectly well, no problems on my end.
Right.
But when they were done, they left frustrated, not even angry, but just like you could tell they were bothered by the
They
interaction.
came back and apologized.
I wish they should have.
I love those. Those are so fun when
It
they
was
leave.
so not important in interaction. I don't even remember what her problem was that
Right.
happened, but the barista was watching when it happened, and she came over and goes, "You just have the shittiest luck with customers." And I was,
You know what's weird is that lady that you were talking to got her coffee and hopped on a plane to go to Italy.
I believe it.
I hope they showed that Gillette commercial on the way.
Oh god.
She's going. That's right. That is exactly right.
I have a quick question for you, Vari.
So
Before we leave, I forgot to do it with Grant, and I feel really bad. But I'm every guest this year. I'm going to ask the same question and see what their response is. I'm going to Mars at the end of the year.
Oh, okay.
I'm hopping on a shuttle. I'm going to be
Okay.
the first one there.
Okay.
We're going to establish a new society on Mars.
okay.
Layover in Italy.
You want to go with me?
Fuck yeah.
Yes. That's two.
Damn it.
I got two people.
Layover in Italy.
I'm ignoring you.
Grant would have said yes. To
I
you.
think Grant would have said yes.
he would have.
So I have
can
three
bring,
people.
I can bring my cat, right?
No,
Yeah.
cat
No.
dies on
Okay.
Mars.
No.
One way ticket. You're going to
No.
die there. It's going to be long. You're
It's
just
a
gonna
one-way
live
ticket.
in an oxygenless desert.
What the fuck?
But it's on a new planet.
Why do you think
and
we
you
all
have
said-
oxygen bubbles?
Now, hey, we're yucking his yum. The important thing around this whole thing this year was that
idea. Go to Mars is the worst idea.
I think going to Mars and establishing new society away from this shithole planet sounds like a great idea.
You wanna
my
kick the
God,
natives
watch
off their
Future
land?
Man.
I need to watch Future
Watch
Man.
Future Man.
I need to.
Like literally
My brother
everything that
just
you're
told me
saying
about
right
it.
now from the episodes that we watched today and yesterday. Like seriously, just go home and watch Future Man. Oh my God.
I will. I'll go to work and watch it tonight. I work graveyard shift, so
Okay, take it with you. It's on Hulu.
challenge accepted.
Fucking A. Well, guys, thanks for tuning in today. And we hope that the Gillette commercial made you a better person. And also, we hope if you see anybody in Italy and she's a real bitch, at least you know where she was before she left.
Also, if you made it through the whole Gillette debacle in this episode, we apologize for making you sit through it. We're glad you're still here, and we know that you're not going to be a shady person no matter what. So keep trucking on.
do we know that?
believe,
We do know
yes,
that.
because we
Do we know
believe
that?
Our
we
audience
believe
is not made of
in the
shit
sanctity
people.
of humanity.
Vari, Where can people find you?
We do believe in
Hold
this.
on.
No.
We do.
Hold the fuck
That was
on.
so fucking well
We
done,
believe in the
Casey.
sanctity of humanity. Did you just say that? Have you been out of the house this year? The sanctity of humanity. Okay.
Oh, come on.
Vari,
This is where I'm
Have a
supposed
little
to.
faith.
You know what? Secretly, I do. I like to be the antagonist, the
Thank
protagonist.
you.
But I actually do. But this is also the point in time where I'm supposed to say to you, when you go, believe in the sanctity of humanity, I'm supposed to go, oh, really? Well, believe in one hand and shit in the other and see which one fills up faster.
Casey, from the shadows of life, did you have a question you wanted to ask?
Just-
Oh my God.
Is the Shadows of Life a place in Italy?
I don't know.
It might be, but even if it's not, no matter what, if you're in the shadows of life, you can't be hit from a master blaster.
Vari, where can people find you?
Fucking shit. I can find you on fucking shit.
Oh my God. Okay. So
With the master blaster, with a master blaster. Boom.
hi guys.
Jesus.
My name is Vari.
And you know what
You
sucks?
can find me on live stream broadcasting platforms such
Italy?
as YouTube, Mixer, or Twitch. If you type in Vari, it is spelled VAHRI. You can also find me on all social media forums if you type in Vari TV.
It's a
And-
she of audio.
Oh, and Dakota Watch Company. I fixed your watch for you.
Really,
Oh, yeah,
really though. All bullshit aside, if you're looking for a watch, if you want to buy somebody a watch for a gift, if you need an old watch cleaned up, fixed up, anything like that, if you need a new band for your watch, seriously, go to West Elm Mall, go to the Dakota Watch stand. Please go see her.
You know what? I'll do you one better. You guys come see me. Make sure that it's me that you come see, and you say, I heard about you on Beacon House. I give you 10% off.
Holy shit! Damn. That's the first time there's ever been a good reason to listen to this.
I will, and I just want to add, because you beatboxed and you sang shitty again. If that makes it into the blurb of this episode, and or just makes it into the episode,
better.
no, stop it, because it makes into every single blurb.
Oh.
Like there's so much good shit in this episode. If their shitty beatboxing song makes it as the blurb,
If you
I'm
cut
gonna
out
break every
any of the
piece
good
of equipment
stuff,
in this.
I'm gonna be really mad.
What's the? Oh, no pressure. Thanks. I fucking appreciate that.
Yeah, have fun editing this one.
Yeah, have fun with your Shadows of Life.
You may edit out the bathroom breaks.
Master blaster.
Oh God.
Master blaster. Boom.